Well, this assignment certainly gets my stamp of approval. The next time you mail a letter, you'll be able to adorn your envelope with the inimitable image of Betty White. And it was a local illustrator who delivered.
I've been doing portraits for years for pretty much every magazine you've ever heard of. I think I was just the right guy at the right time.
With the right touch.
The art director said he liked how my work was sort of gentle to older people, so I think it was a good fit.
For Foxborough artist Dale Stephanos, asked by the U.S. Postal Service to design a stamp of the one and only Betty White. What was your first thought when they asked you to do this?
I felt like I won the lottery.
Or struck gold drawing America's Golden Girl.
I mean, Betty White, I loved the Mary Tyler Moore Show, and Betty White actually reminded me a lot of my mother.
He was given several pictures of White to work from. What do you feel like you captured with your drawing of her, your painting of her?
I worked really hard to capture that sort of mischievous humor.
His biggest challenge, at the family's request, representing White's love of animals and activism on their behalf.
After drawing several sketches with animals, it just wasn't working. I was at breakfast with my wife one day, and I always doodle, and she was wearing like a paw print or an animal print.
It's hard to believe, but
his wife, a familiar face for longtime NBC 10 viewers, Maria Stephanos, a reporter here in the mid-90s, now a news anchor in Boston. Her outfit that day led Dale to this idea, a paw print earring on White's right ear. Subtle, but...
If you know, it's cool that there's a little secret hiding in that tiny little stamp, right?
Along those same lines, he chose to put her in purple.
Purple is often associated with protest, and it's not like she was a protester, but I think the animal rights activism is a form of protest on behalf of animals.
Stephanos has worked on other stamps for the Postal Service, but the one of White will be the first released to the public.
As far as subject matter is concerned, the AP had a great headline when they first announced it, and it was just after the election. It read, U.S. Postal Service figures out a way to unite a divided country, which I thought was just right on the money.
Yeah, when you think about it, and they put it in that context, I mean, everybody loves her, right?
Everybody.
Stephanos has been drawing as long as he can remember.
You know, I'm one of those people who someone put a crayon in my hand when I was 2 or 3, and I never let go, and I just kept drawing pictures, and people kept saying they liked them, so I thought, well, maybe I'll just keep doing this, and it eventually turned into a job.
And his work has been in countless publications over the years, from portraits to political cartoons. Politics, something he's never shied away from.
I love using stamps to communicate messages. So, for instance, I have some conservative relatives, and when we send them cards, I'll put the Ruth Bader Ginsburg stamp on there. And now, since I did the William F. Buckley stamp, when I send something to my more liberal relatives or friends, I can put the William, just as a little, you know.
The Buckley stamp just announced recently, and he's got 2 more stamps he's worked on coming out in 2026.
The stamps are like these beautiful little chauffeurs that carry, you know, love letters, breakup letters, sympathy cards, birthday cards, and utility bills, right? But there are millions of them every day spread across the country, bringing our messages, and just to be a little part of that, I thought, yeah, I've got to nail this thing.
Because the popularity and widespread appeal of Betty White certainly is not lost on him. He says it took him about 10 to 15 hours to actually finish the drawing. Then it's back and forth with boards and committees to get approval.
I start with a drawing, and then I paint it in Photoshop. And I do it that way because there are often changes that need to be made sort of last minute. And I used to either use colored pencil or oil paint, and changing that is just it's like turning a cargo ship around. So with this, I can, digitally, I can just make a change and email it, and within minutes, and we're set to go.
The whole process, start to finish, took about a year.
And it's been amazing. I don't think I'm going to top this.
Making his mark on our mail, well, forever.
Having it out in the world like that it's such an honor.
Mario Florio, NBC 10 News.